Things just took a very interesting turn as following what has been a crazy past few days and weeks of speculation surrounding the Lakers' next trade. A sickening new report has dropped surrounding Herb Jones that has fans fired up. But to break that down, as well as discuss a ton of other updates following a very disappointing loss yesterday. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, quick reminder, folks, to hit that subscribe button. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot to go over today. And obviously, the Lakers have been heavily involved in trade talks for Herb Jones. Reports as recent as yesterday started to fly surrounding specifically the Lakers and Herb Jones. And then today, a new report has dropped from Dan Wokey, of course, a Lakers writer and reporter, and he goes on to say that the Pelicans are not interested in trading Herb Jones to the Lakers, per Dan Wokey Sports. While Lakers fans can fantasize about some all-out liquidation of the 3-win Pelicans roster team, league sources tell The Athletic that the Pelicans are not interested in moving Jones. So it isn't just, specifically they don't want to trade him to the Lakers. It's that considering what LA would have to offer in a deal, which is expiring contracts and a first-round pick, the Pelicans almost certainly wouldn't engage at that price point. So clearly now at this point, for everyone who wanted Herb Jones, myself included, I had some videos on him and I was planning on doing a video today, especially after the reports that they are willing to trade him. The Lakers won't be, at least as of this point, being able to get involved in the Herb Jones sweepstakes simply because of the fact that what the Pelicans want, the Lakers don't have. Now, this is very unfortunate because obviously this is a sad report to come out after a game like yesterday where the need for Herb Jones became that much more prevalent, which we'll obviously discuss in this video. But for Herb Jones and the Lakers, it's interesting that an unprotected first-round pick, which is the 2031 first-round pick, of course, the Lakers hypothetically could have offered Gabe Vincent, Dalton, Knecht, whatever the salaries it would end up being, though Herb Jones isn't making a ton, and then a 2031 unprotected first. It's interesting that that's not enough to entice the Pelicans because of the fact that, at this point, this year, he's averaging 9 points a game. He's doing his thing. He's a great defender, and he's on a pretty team-friendly deal. 3 years, $68 million. So it is a team-friendly deal, one of the best in the league, especially for a player that you can kind of, if you're any other team trying to acquire him, plug and play into any lineup because of his defensive abilities. The deal is fully guaranteed, but a player who impacts the game defensively the way he does and has improved his outside shooting seems like a steal. So this is, it's unfortunate. Now, does this mean that they're not going to go out and try to acquire other players? They absolutely are. Whether that be, there's a lot of different names that are out there on the board right now, but obviously most importantly for this time, you look at his stats this year, he's averaging 9 a game, was 5th in Defensive Player of the Year voting just a couple years ago and was on the All-Defensive First Team. Hasn't gotten any of those accolades the past couple of years, but again, he's averaging 10 points a game, shooting 34.7% from 3. This is all on a Pelicans team that really has a very bad team, 3 wins, 21 losses, or whatever it is. So they are, I assume, going to trade Herb Jones. But maybe they'll decide to keep him unless they get an offer that really entices them, which I'm sure a lot of teams out there will be willing to give him. Again, this is a guy who is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, is an extremely good player, and players like that get valued a lot higher than others at trade deadlines. When we think back to the OG Anunoby trade from a few years ago, at the time they traded quickly in RJ Barrett, and they of course extended him to over $46 million a year, which is crazy. So I'm not saying Herb Jones is going to get that value, and he probably won't, but the unprotected first-round pick, according to Dan Wokey, would not be enough for the stud defender in Herb Jones. So let me know down below, or rather let us know what your thoughts are on this. Are you upset about this? Who do you think their next target should be? Because you can also, in theory, rule out Trey Murphy out of this now as well, because I can't imagine that the Lakers are going to want to give him, the Pelicans are going to want to accept any offer for him. So maybe we'll have to look elsewhere, and there's a lot of different avenues that they can go there. But again, let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on that. You can see here Andrew Wiggins and Herb Jones are not available. Let's shift our focus to Keon Ellis. I'll have a video coming out on that soon. Seems like a more realistic option. Someone who's not going to cost as much. Is he going to cost the unprotected first-round pick? That would obviously be the question. I assume that deal would probably be made 9 times out of 10 if you're the Lakers, just to maybe not the unprotected first, but we'll have to look around and see what the value is. I trust Rob Pelinka in trades, and at this point, if they don't go out and get a defender at the deadline, you're in rough shape, because you look at their lineup right now. We saw yesterday Luka, Reaves, Rui, LeBron, Ayton. When they struggle, the Lakers that is, they really struggle. And we've been seeing that now numerous times with specifically their defensive group, because we know Luka's going to get his, Austin Reaves is going to get his, and LeBron's been struggling this year, which we'll have into in a minute. They don't have any great perimeter defenders. Obviously, Marcus Smart, coming off an injury, played in yesterday's game. But outside of that, Smart looked really good yesterday. But beyond that, they need more perimeter defenders. JJ Redick's not going to play Jared Vanderbilt. He doesn't have a shot. One of their acquisitions in the offseason, Jake LaRavia, he, of course, isn't going to be a good defender necessarily, or someone who's at least known as a good defender. So a lot of question marks heading into the trade deadline. And speaking of all of these, you can see here it's obviously a little bit small, but JJ Redick spoke out after yesterday's game and said very few teams don't have something that you can expose, which is, of course, speaking into the confidence of his team. But he also goes on to say, and we typically consistently got exposed for the same things. And while Redick would love to see the Lakers better at crashing the glass and creating offensive advantages, the real problem is easier to isolate. I think being able to contain the basketball is probably one of the most difficult things for our team right now. They don't have a point of attack defender. It is crystal clear. JJ Redick just called it out. Whether that be going and overpaying for Keon Ellis, whether that be going and overpaying for another point of attack defender, their need has always been clear, right? And whether that be against the Spurs, the Hawks, the Suns, the Celtics, they need somebody to stop the opponent's best player. You can rely on Marcus Smart to a degree, but you need another one. Their starting lineup doesn't have enough defenders in it, and that's now leading to some big problems, especially when, in games where even Austin Reaves is playing maybe a little bit less, great, I guess, offensively than he usually does. That's going to be a problem because you can't always outscore the opponent. But at the same time, LeBron James spoke out recently on Austin Reaves, kind of gave his thoughts on his breakout year, and he said he's a great dude, and I'm so happy for all the success in his career. Basically goes on to say that I just think AR has picked up exactly where he left off. Confidence, being healthier, everything like that. He wants that responsibility. I think the coaching staff and JJ knew it wasn't too far-fetched to give him more responsibility, and he's taking full advantage of it. Of course, if you're a Lakers fan, you watch the Lakers, they're having a fantastic year in general, but Austin Reaves particularly is having a really, really good year, and that's obviously, you attribute that to his development, being able to have a full offseason with Luka, and he proved me wrong. I didn't think he was going to take this next leap, especially under Luka Doncic, and having to really find a way to play alongside him, but he has, and he will continue to do so, and he's going to be crucial as the next era of Lakers basketball with him alongside Luka Doncic, assuming they don't trade for Giannis, continues to progress there. But always nice to see good words and kind words from LeBron James, who, speaking of LeBron, people are not happy about in yesterday's game against the Spurs. You can see this tweet that kind of blew up here. Video, LeBron cost the Lakers over 20 points with his terrible defense. LeBron allowed 8 wide open threes. He flopped, ball watched, had almost zero effort most of the game, while Luka and AR tried very hard. LeBron fans, how can you still defend him? And I don't think it was as bad as this Twitter account and Twitter users kind of making it out to be and painting it out to be. But this post does highlight that the Lakers, if you look at some of the on-off stats, they've been better without LeBron at times this year. And is that because of the defense? Is that because of LeBron himself taking a step back, being a step slower? Or is it simply because of the way that the lineups and JJ Redick is using them, where they don't have a point of attack defender to help compensate for LeBron at this point not being a great defender, at least in the regular season yet? There's a lot of questions about it, and let me know down below what your thoughts are on it. Things are getting pretty interesting. I think LeBron will be fine. I think the team in general will be fine. But let me know what your thoughts are on that. Are you concerned about LeBron James, who every year since joining the NBA has been a beast, and this is the first year where there's questions about that. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. We will see you guys later. And also, leave your prediction for the next couple of Lakers games down below.